Okay, so we're making duck and truffle ravioli. This is just enough for a starter for two people. So that was 90 grams of flour, and you just want to make a well right in the middle of your pile of flour. Crack one egg into it. I've got a medium-sized egg, 90 grams to about one medium-sized egg. If you had a large egg, you could go up to probably 100 grams. You just kind of scramble the egg in the middle here, and just start pulling in the walls of that little well that you made. So just bringing in the flour bit by bit. And we'll go fast motion so that you don't have to sit and watch me playing with the dough for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Keep bringing it together. It always feels like it won't come together, like it's just going to stay in crumbs. But if you keep working it, you eventually get it to a place where it's like a piece of Play-Doh. But even then, you want to keep working it. You want to knead it and just keep going at it. That develops the glutens, and that's what makes your pasta dough stretchy. As you can see, I just keep going at it there. And eventually you get to a point where the pasta dough almost has a shine to it, and that's when you know you're done. So you can see a bit of a shine there. I'll put that in cling film and put it in the fridge for at least 10-15 minutes just to rest. So onto the duck confit legs. I just bought them, and I took one leg and one thigh and took the bones, just pulled the meat off the bones and into the mini food processor. And along with that, there's a truffle paste that I can buy that's truffles and mushrooms. It's pretty potent stuff, so you're really only looking at maybe a teaspoon. I blitz that up until it gets to a texture where it's not quite pate, but it's also not having any chunks in it. And here's the fun part, the rolling out of the pasta. You want to make sure that you've got your landing strip with lots of flour on it so that it doesn't stick. And the first couple times you want to go at the thickest setting and just run it through, fold it over, run it through, fold it in half until it really starts to have the texture that you think will be stretching. So I've gone down one size, and here's the cool thing. Before it completely feeds through, feed it back through so you make like a belt sander. And that way you don't have to keep picking up your pasta and feeding it through. And so I just keep going one size smaller and one size smaller, and you can see I don't have to pick up my pasta and put it all through. One size smaller again, and this is eventually going to stretch so that it's coming right off the screen. I couldn't get all of it on there, but I want it big enough that I can make 4 decent size ravioli. So obviously this is sped up. I can't actually do it this fast. And I believe we're on the thinnest setting. So you run it through so that the belt of pasta goes around at least twice. Break it off. A little bit more flour so that it doesn't stick. And that's set to fill. So I measure off my 4 ravioli to make sure I've got enough space. And then I simply just take that filling and portion it out to 4 equal portions, being really careful not to get any of the filling on the pasta where you want to, when you put the lid on and you want it to connect. You don't want any of the filling there, or you'll get little holes, and then you'll throw your ravioli into the hot water and they'll just burst apart. So really important is to get all of the air out from around the filling. That's another way that you'll blow them apart in the boiling water, is if you've got air in there. So there you simply cut them out, and then I'll take the edges and I'll just crimp them to make sure that it's not going to fall apart, and those are ready to go in. Okay, this is just butter with some sliced up sage, and then I'm going to add some mushrooms into that as well and saute them. You can see the water in the back isn't quite on the boil yet, and once it gets there, we'll pop those in, and those are 3 minutes, no longer than 3 minutes, because that's fresh pasta. And you take them out of the boiling water, put them directly into that butter and sage and mushroom. And you're going to toss it around and put a bit of the the pasta water in there too, the starchy pasta water, and that will make a really, really light sauce, but it'll take all the flavor of the sage butter and put it all over your ravioli. That's ready to serve. So there it is. That's duck confit and truffle ravioli with mushrooms and sage butter. It's not really the type of thing you want to do for a huge dinner party because it's a lot of work, but for 2 or 3, maybe 4 people, it's a great thing.